Aware the world was watching, the self-proclaimed prime minister of Donetsk's rebel-held territory returned Flight 17's data recorders to Malaysian officials. Flight data and voice cockpit boxes will be as crucial to the investigation as the wreckage itself. The pieces likely to determine the type missile fired from the launcher, say experts like New York Times aviation writer Matthew Wald.
The proximity missile would have sent shrapnel into the plane, and you can see entry holes and exit holes in the metal if you know what you're looking for, if you can find the metal, if it's still there.
Though it's too soon to tell, unlike a heat-seeking missile which would lock onto an engine, the proximity missile is a high-explosive, radar-guided warhead that detonates near the aircraft. Lieutenant Colonel Rick Francona is retired Air Force intelligence.
The standard SA-11 warhead is 150 pounds of high explosive fragmentation. In other words, the casing of the warhead itself will turn into shrapnel when the warhead explodes.
Francona says the Buke launcher typically uses these type missiles. Instead of a mid-air fireball, the shrapnel tears holes in the aircraft, leaving large sections intact.
If these pieces would have hit the fuel tanks, it could have caused a mid-air explosion. But what we saw was the fuselage coming apart and falling in large pieces.
Experts say thick black smoke from a fire was likely the fuselage after it hit the ground. We think of another crash, the Korean airline crash, where people were still alive after it was hit by an air-to-air missile. Is there the possibility that people were aware for a second, 2 seconds of what had happened?
It's possible. As the aircraft broke up, if you were still strapped into your seat, you would realize something terrible was happening, but you would soon lose consciousness because of the altitude at which you were.
The length of the 6-mile debris trail suggests the plane may have remained airborne for as long as 40 seconds, says Francona.
In the Korean Airlines 747 that was shot down by an air-to-air missile fired by a Soviet fighter jet, the crew knew they'd been hit and talked about it, and the cockpit voice recorder persisted for many seconds before the airplane broke up, hit the water.
Experts say the missile likely took 12 seconds to hit its target 33,000 feet in the air. Even if the pilots saw the missile, because of the plane's size and maneuverability, it's unlikely they would have been able to take any evasive action at all. Deborah Fayrick, CNN, New York.